good question, isn't it?
To be or not to be?
To be or not to be.
Mentally stable.
So,
Don't understand.
this is a little, it's my family. It's a confirmation of my daughter. And without the children, everybody of them would be a candidate for refractive surgery. For laser or lenses, but a candidate for refractive surgery. Everybody of them. And that is the truth, as long as your doctor says yes. The doctor is the one who says, maybe we can't treat the patient. Okay? So, that is the first message. In principle, everybody is suitable, as long as you can say, okay, we have enough cornea thickness, we have a nice healthy eye, and we have the suffering of glasses. And this is our decision tree for myopia. I think you saw it, isn't it? Did I show you? No. It's a decision tree of Professor Secundo and myself in 2019, so it's actually similar to now. Here you have the people nearly 26, the younger ones, and there are the older ones. And with under -3, we are doing smile or femtolasic surface here if we have a need for it because it hurts the patients, yes. And -3 to -6 we have smile here too, and with -8, -10 smile or ICL. With all the ones we have a lot of presbyon, can you see? Because of a femtolasic and the step-lapse vision. And we have a smile with -8 to -10. It's a little bit different to you because Professor told us you are doing it with until -10. Up to -10. Yeah, not at my clinic, but it's your clinic and everything is fine. Okay?
In Germany till 8?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that
because
means
of,
no.
because of haze.
Legal limits we have not.
Yeah, no, it's a limit is a limit of Professor Secundo because of haze and healing, but it's his decision,
Yeah.
and he is the surgeon. And if the surgeon say we stop at this point, then we stop at this point. It's not my decision. I have a decision with light conditions at the refraction room, and I say my surgeon I need another refraction room because of this, this, and this. And he tells me we treat -10, then we do it, because then he has a good reason. I can ask and he can explain, yes, but it's not my decision. Okay? So, but this helps sometimes, especially if the counseling is a part of the optometrist, not of the surgeons, you know. So, these are some team members, myself, it's my home. But what's important, up to 40, everything is easy. If you have a myopic patient, you can treat smile, everything is fine. You know, the problems start over 40. Then you have to explain a lot of things, and it takes time, it's annoying. But this group has a lot of money. That helps us too.
Not in Latvia.
Okay, but in Germany, So there you have to decide what can you do. For our center, I decided into presbyon, smile, and I call it other methods. You know, it's up to your center. The indications are very clear. One point is very expectations. You have to talk the expectations all the time. With smile, you have the dry eye is lower than it would be with presbyon. So if you have a lady over 40 with a very dry eye, I treat with smile. we changed it because Professor Sekundo had 2 women friends of his wife. It was really horrible. I mean, we guided them through the process, but it took really a lot of time with eye drops and punctum plaques and these things. But since this time, it's 1 year ago, sometimes we decide, okay, the eye is very dry, we choose a smile. It's better for everybody of us. You have to explain it
Yeah.
and to discuss with the patient. And with a smile, you have a longer adaptation time of clear vision, because you have the cornea isn't so soft than it is with 20, and you prepare a little pocket, isn't it? Because you remove a lenticle.
Yeah.
And to close the pocket, it takes longer. So with over 40, they have a clear vision after 2 weeks. So you have to discuss with the women, especially the women, do you want to use your eye drops very long, or do you want to have, and you will have a clear vision the next day because you have a flap, you create the flaps, you put it back, and everything is nice. Or do you prefer to have the dry eyes lesser than it would be with Pressbeyond, but you have a longer adaptation time to get a very clear vision? And as long as I can explain it, it's not my decision, it's a decision of the patient. I have to be very sure that she or he understands me. And to be sure, I repeat them. One initial question is, if you go home to your grandmother, how would you explain it to her? When she entered the room, I asked her, how would you explain it? It's a game. If you try to explain something, you learn. And I mean, this is a group, everybody knows each other. We're friends, or everybody has respect for the other one, and it's a very small group. So you can train the expectation or explanations here in this group. And I encourage you to do it. We are doing it at our team too. Sometimes I go to Professor Sekundo and tell him, oh, I have to explain you something. And then I explain Pressbeyond again, only for repetition. And sometimes he's coming and say, I explain it like this way. I mean, we are colleagues. We can learn from each other. We have different point of views. So use your team to try to explain it. And one homework would be, go home this night or evening, and the first one you see, hopefully a family member, please explain him or her what is Pressbeyond in 5 sentences. Do you think that's possible?
Yes.
Do you think it's possible? Why 5 sentences? The brain can adapt 5 things. So you have the introduction, 3 main points, and the conclusion. Everything more will go away. It's for the air. So bring the things at a point. I asked you for 3 expectations, isn't it? Always 3. So if you go home, 5 sentences. So during the traveling home, you can think about the 5 sentences, and then you can explain it to the first patient. And tomorrow I want to know who was the first patient and how was his face after you explained it. Was it or was it oh? Okay? It's non-verbal communication, because it's not the communication with the words, it's a non-verbal what brings you forward. Okay? It's homework, Agnes.
Yeah.
Please
I'm
remember me.
My homework. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, contraindications, I'm pretty sure you already know, but important life issues to be considered, especially after 40. And believe me, if you are under 30, you have no idea what does it mean. When I was under 30, I was climbing and had a lot of fun, and I had no children. and then it changed from during 1 year. But one important question is, to the patient, how or what do you currently use to read? And what corrective device do you use? It's like your patient. If the answer is, I do not use anything, then I'm always advise the patient, try to wear contact lenses. And then come back and tell me, yeah, Anke, I want to have a laser surgery. Because we had the same. It was a learning curve. Use contact lenses, it's better for everybody. Okay? The next question is, what is your current job and what job do you plan to have in 5 years? If you have a driver who will be retired in 5 years and then he will sit in his garden, then you can take a laser tree too, you know? Yeah, it depends what the people really want to do. Or do you have a lawyer who will be retired and then he's driving with his Wohnmobil, mobile home during America for 1 year? How funny. It's very huge mobile home and he has to have a look different things. So that is an important question. And what are your current hobbies?
Yes, we're asking it every time. I think
Yeah, sometimes I forget some questions because it's daily life, it's routine. And I start to ask, which hobbies are you planning to do? Yeah, because now I'm doing inliner.
No, but
Inliner?
our
Yeah.
clinic it's like a routine, all
Yeah.
installations and
Yeah.
every time we are speaking.
And do you have driving license, and if, which vehicle do you use? That's important too.
Yeah.
So, for the expectations, in which situation do you dislike your glasses? That is a point I want to have, that the patient thinks about what they really don't like. That's easier for the conversion rate afterwards.
Usually I'm asking, what's happened in your life? But you now decided to make a surgery.
Yeah.
But you was living till you're 45, 48, till with your glasses or contact. What's happened in your life?
Yeah.
Maybe you fall in love and now it's
Yeah.
you don't like to wear glasses or something else. And patients started to think, what's happened really? Why it was living 20 years?
Yeah, something is
But
the reason.
it's very interesting
Yeah.
to see the reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's happening?
Yeah, but it helps because it gives you an idea of the
Yeah.
patients and it gives you some arguments afterwards. So it's easier for everybody. This is my favorite. How do you imagine the first day after the operation? Because it brings the patient to the point to think about what's, if I have done, what's happened then. It's better for the conversion rate. It's nothing to happen with breast bio, it's conversion. Okay? This is important, I think so. It's a feature, advantage and benefit process. I created in Germany, it looks like a bit smarter, now I translated very quick last night. But the feature is 2 lasers I use for flap and ablation, -10 and +3, okay? You have to adapt it. And the advantage is vision from far to near without steps. It's an easy enhancement, so if you need an enhancement, yeah, you open the flap, you have the enhancement, everything is fine. Nothing more. It's better than with mine. There's enhancement sometimes a little bit tricky. And gentle on tissue compared to classic, because as you have a femtolasic. Do you use a microkeratome here still? Do you use
Sometimes.
Yeah, something.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes,
What
thanks.
can I say?
Yeah, but it's cheaper.
It's cheaper and
Yeah, it's cheaper. I never have seen operation
I'm
like
sure,
this. Professor Sekunde has one, and we have to.
we use all the methods in the
Yeah. Okay.
from the PRK to classical
Yeah.
LASIK, femtolasic, smile, and fake LASIK implantation and refractive lens
Yeah.
exchange. Everything.
Okay.
Everything is possible.
And the benefit for the patient is maximum independence from glasses, high quality, without pain, and it's fast.
End of friends.
Nie, to wszystko przyczyniło.
Okay. Selection for Breast Beyond, binocular vision has to be there. So the eyes has to work together. If you have a monovision, you can't treat Breast Beyond. That's clear, isn't it?
Nie.
Okay? At least the visual acuity has to be minimum 0.6. This is the reading visual acuity. If you have 0.5, the visual acuity for reading isn't good enough. They aren't happy afterwards. We have 3 patients of them. They have 0.5 in the reading eye, and they sit in front of me and say, but I can't see. Yeah, because if they, before the operation, they removed the glasses and they had a better visual acuity in case of the shorter distance. Eigenvergrößerung in Deutsch. Own size, bigger sizing because of the near distance. Do you know what?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry for the email, but yeah. And they have to tolerance anisometropia. And with Breast Beyond, I treat only 1 point, as 1.22 or 1.25. I never do this. If I do this, I can do a monovision. Okay? And you have a longer patient management. With all the patients over 40, it takes longer. It is a fact. Yeah? So, now we have a practical thing. Because 4:30 you need some things to do that you won't feel asleep. Okay. I want to have an idea of your ideal patient. If you would choose an ideal patient for Breast Beyond, who would it be? And I really prefer to have a group of 2 of them in 1, 2. Yeah? Hier 2, hier 2, hier 2, and here 2.
I'm only certain.
Yeah, but she can explain you. And she, it would be really, she was at Marburg, so she has a benefit.
Prepare for me, okay?
She is always prepared. You have 5 minutes. I mean, no, there are patients also. You can't leave the room for this.
Yeah.
But please have an idea and explain it to
We
them
have
too.
to fulfill, yeah, all this.
Pardon?
We have to fulfill?
You can, yeah. It's age, profession, hobbies, contact lenses, general diseases, diseases for eye, refraction, without glasses, with glasses, photopic pupil size, anterior shadow, and others. And the expectation. So please create your ideal patient. If you could bake a patient, who would it be? It's easy.
Ideal patient with general disease and eye disease.
Without disease. If it's an ideal patient, it's healthy.
Yes.
Yes, right. No disease.
Oh, yes, no.
No diseases. Yeah.
The age about the breast.
Age 18.
Yeah. Oh, it's not it's about breast cancer. It's more than 38 years. So maybe 45, 50, yes, yeah, I think so, yes. Because less, he can't understand maybe something.
And he still has this
More
accommodation.
than 50, it's already professional, it's not office work. It's a
Maybe
Cleaner was a good example.
Yeah, I studied Latvian and said,
I didn't understand.
translate for me, right?
Okay, so what is
Maybe it's in who makes food, no, in the restaurants and chief maybe I think it's maybe small, maybe small letters, but it's not general.
Yeah, cooking is
Not chef, it's who makes only not small things.
horse riding. On the box of the flat.
It's not like shooting, like it's something to something small.
Shooting would be funny.
It's who plays check and chess.
Yeah.
Only ones, but the soft ones is 2 weeks. Like minimum.
Now we are coming to the active knowledge.
Like Venus, I think it's Venus. Last I don't think so. Venus is always better. Because I think it's very bad.
Yeah. For the ideal patient would be a challenge.
Uncorrected
Uncorrection.
visual acuity.
No, this is
Saying who is an optometrist.
it's without correction, yes?
Yeah, without, yeah.
No, maybe maximum.
Yeah, but then it's good,
But it's
isn't it?
maybe.
Yeah.
It's maximum. This correction?
It's best corrected. Yeah.
Best corrected.
Best correct. But if you
Yeah, but I can read the numbers. That's enough.
1.5, I think it's very.
And I can read the
I think 1.0 is perfect. Because there's some extra anywhere that, yeah, 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can write it in
This I don't know.
And the scotopic pupil as small as possible?
Okay, so you see
Anterior section.
It's like the lace.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
The chamberlain.
Yes.
what is it?
Above
Yeah, but the
2.5.
millimeters
Yeah.
anterior.
Anterior.
segment.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Is it
But I don't know millimeters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Health. What is the health system?
Yes,
Yeah.
everything is very,
Was it easy?
You said 3.
Because you all the time listen to the story, so this is good, this is not good.
Yeah. Zero. It's zero.
Zero is something.
Expectation.
So I'm telling you the same boat.
anterior segment will mean, so all anterior segment.
And
Yeah.
Will they
We know
different
it will be
things
the
that
chamberlain,
I try to-
but we can
Others,
answer.
I think I would be the training.
others dry.
And what is
No dry eye, yeah, that's the IDCs which we already put in.
And I'm very good at
Some
understanding.
disease.
I'm not good to repeat things if I don't understand it. Okay?
Non.
Easy
to handle.
Yes, hopefully a very good center for presbyons and I can teach you.
See better result.
And if you
Those classes like this way.
That is a challenge. So, okay.
Have you discussed or?
Yeah. We speak
ready?
about,
Are you
What do
ready?
you mean anterior segment? It is
it's slit lamp examination.
the lamp
Cornea,
examination.
yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
Iris,
yes,
pupil,
Yes.
anterior,
Yes.
temporal,
yes.
so on. Healthy.
You know,
Some light,
before Munich, there was written slit lamp examination. Then Professor Sekundu checked my presentation and told me there has to be written anterior segment. Oh, yes, yeah, he helps me with English.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm glad about it. Because for language I have to learn a lot more than for
Improve visual.
But I'm very happy everybody understands. Okay, let's come to our perfect patient. Who wants to vorstellen? Introduce, yes, thanks. This is echt schwierig. So introduce his patient to us.
My opinion, it should be 45 and plus. 45?
Yeah, please come in front of me, we change the place. Be careful with my cable. Yeah, some exercises at the afternoon would be very good.
This will be person who work with computer
Yeah.
and hobby maybe will be sport activities. Consequence, okay, but need a break for 40 days. General
Soft contact lenses or hard contact lenses?
Soft
Yes.
contacts, yes.
How long would the break with hard contact lenses?
3 months, at least.
3 months.
Yes, usually I'm doing like this, I'm checking them in
I
one
really like.
Yeah, because I see, usually people, if they're 45, they're using hard contact lens all his life, 25 years at least.
Yeah.
And we will check them first time in 1 month and in 3 months.
Yeah.
Again, and if we see some changes, of course, we have to go on.
Yeah.
It's a very
That's good.
important point.
So that's perfect.
Yes. General disease better without general disease.
Healthy.
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 Не, но tu var nosaukt visas general disease, которые vajag exclude.
Yes.
Давай.
Exclude diabetic, skin disease, allergies.
Hard allergies.
Okay.
Autoimmune rheumatism.
Yeah. There you have to be very careful.
Also pregnancy, it's not so often in 45, but sometimes it
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be.
yeah.
So
Yes.
I had 4 in 15 years.
Yeah.
Four.
And now it could be also very popular
And you
to
have
have
to-
children after you're 40.
Yeah, and you have to ask about hormone therapy,
Yes.
therapy
Yes.
Yes.
with after 45. And I advise the women, do not start with this therapy after 1 year, after laser surgery. Because otherwise the visual you have a healing or regression. It's horrible, isn't it? Everything works fine. 3 months everything is fine, then they are coming back. I can't see anymore, and then they have -1. What's happened? Yeah, I'm taking some hormones. Oh, how nice. You know it? Yeah, it's the same here, isn't it? Okay.
And
And also
Psycho?
psycho.
Psychology, yeah.
Some schizophrenics better not to do.
Why?
Because of future problems, maybe method sometimes it's happened.
Yeah,
It's difficult to.
yeah,
Present for
I
you.
found one publication for 3,000 army women in youth. They had a questionnaire after laser surgery, and everybody of them took antidepressiva.
Yes, it's a very important point because of
Yeah.
the medicine can create glaucoma and to enlarge the
Yeah.
pupil. Yeah, так что клиническая депрессия это тоже.
But with the psyche?
Yes.
yeah.
The happiness is lower than it would be with a normal patient, but they are still happy, you know?
Yeah.
So we changed a little bit. The one who decide in Marburg, if we treat a patient like this, it's me, not Professor Sekunde. Because if I say no, then they know we can't treat them, it would be very tricky because of the happiness and the expectations.
Yeah.
Mostly the expectation, because these people believe afterwards that their life would be very nice.
But I see when we have special questionnaire for every patient, I will show you later. All these questions included, also hobby, profession, and the health status. But I see that how many patients have depression, how many young patients is within the eyes.
It's more than most.
We are using antidepressant. It's impossible to exclude everybody, but sometimes we have problems.
Who decides? You? Yeah.
That's my decision. I
Yeah.
speak with them if I see that this patient is strange and but sometimes it's better not to make
Yeah.
And
It's a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and second is because of medicine, because they do the
Large
they
pupils,
pay big
Related
influence of
people.
accommodation and the size of
Yeah.
people.
Quite often you have one in a clinic who decide if treated or not. It's a feeling like a stomach feeling. You sit in front of such kind of people and say it works or it doesn't work, and you can't say why. Okay, thank you.
For the best patient will be correction till -6, refraction.
Refraction.
Yes, refraction.
Okay.
And
That's an uncorrected distance vision.
Yeah, zero.
more than
Something under 0.05. Isn't it with minus?
Less than 0.1 we decided.
Yeah.
It's blink,
Yeah.
regular blink.
Yeah.
The person is
You can't see anything. Okay.
and corrected not
Yeah, 100, 1.0.
1.0.
I think it's 0.8.
Yeah.
No, it's not good patient.
But
If it's maximum of visual acuity, it's 0.8.
1.8. No. It's an ideal patient.
No, I told you, ideal.
It's an ideal
Yeah.
patient, yeah.
Yeah.
This patient would be nearly young, something between 43 and 49. There would be hopefully -4 because it's for Fentolosic very nice, isn't it? And we have a visual acuity for far distance with 100% and these things. And a very good hobby is reading, gardening, children. That's good, isn't it? Jogging.
If it's a small child,
No.
then it would not be perfect. Because
Yeah.
they want to touch your eyes and everything. If it's a baby, then I would
No,
not say it's a good
so
hobby.
you're right. I would say all our children, all adults. 10. Something what we have. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Then scotopic pupil size less than 6.5.
Yeah.
Anterior segment normal.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy.
No, very good.
Yeah.
Really healthy.
And hours. So this is more interesting question.
And if I would have a choice, I would say it would be a man.
Would be men?
Yes, because they have
No.
laser dry eyes in them. Isn't it? Yeah.
With men, some another problem. They are very upset when I say, oh, you are 45. And it's
Yes, that's true. I'm doing it like this way. Oh, you are 45. That's nice.
you are young prisoner.
Yes.
You are so young prisoner.
Yeah. I'm always telling them, oh, you are happy. You are
He
45.
never will understand what is prisoner, but he will understand that he is young.
Yes. Yes, that's the point. I changed it 3 years ago.
And very often they are coming with young girls.
Yes. Yes.
Girlfriends.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Especially around 50.
If
In Germany, around 50.
he is myopic, I will start to explain about the problems in close distance. I can see very good in close distance. Yes, I can read everything. I am 50 because -3.
The point is, if my explanation depends on the gender.
I have told, two young Germans, 40 years old, they're coming in our clinic.
Yeah,
There was a question to change the lenses for the trifocal lenses. It was in the beginning of these trifocal lenses. And we asked, you are so young, why is it necessary for you? They said, when we're going to the restaurant with a young woman, it's not possible to read the menu.
yes,
We need glasses.
yes, and that is today, it's still the same. Okay, thank you.
Oh, one more time.
So,
One more.
this was her ideal patient, or real patient.
Maybe some another options,
Yeah.
that maybe some can.
One more option. Agnes, you have to do it.
Sit down.
Sit down, I'm coming here. Explain us. Her challenge was, she had to do it by her own. The
A
other
special
one doesn't.
change.
Yes.
The numbers, especially.
Age between 45 and 50, not too young, not too old.
Yeah.
Profession,
I got this.
doctors, yeah, click
Because everything-
cleaner.
Every time mom asks, they ask the patients, why you have the glasses?
You have to come to
Yeah,
us.
they're
You have
going
to come to us.
to change the visions and you have the glasses. What does it mean?
You can come to us, we help you. You wouldn't be the first doctor.
Patient.
Okay, yes, hobbies, maybe horse rider, some sport without sharp far vision or sharp middle vision, like play chess or something like that. Contact lenses, no, it's over 1 month, so yes. General diseases, eye diseases, no diseases.
Yeah.
Healthy
Healthy. That's
patient, a
perfect.
good patient. Refraction from -4 to 6,
Yeah.
no, between this uncorrected vision 0.05, but maybe the maximum 0.2, but it's maximum. With correction 1.0. Scotopic pupil size, we said over 6. Anterior segment, of course, healthy. Expectations that he or she wants to see in far better than without glasses right now. And of course, method. I don't know, Presbrand, femtosecond,
Yeah.
LASIK.
That's good. Why is the pupil size so important? I didn't explain it, but I explained it now because we showed this because of the spherical aberration and the treating zone. Because in the CIS masters, this is the calculation software for Presbyon from size. The pupil size is calculated for 6 millimeter, not more. If you change the pupil size, you will have wrong results. That you have to consider. I will show you. Okay, but you hear it the first time now. Okay? So, we are going on. Was it easy?
Yes,
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah? You have to switch your brain on and you have to use it. Okay, refraction and nomograms. This is my happy mouse. The happy mouse has plus 4.75. I deal with plus because of the hyperopic smile which comes and you hear about it. Sometimes plus 4.75 is very high, I know it. But you can, with this prescription, you can see the differences. Okay? With the happy mouse, if you want to have a happy mouse after the treatment, you will have to consider something. For example, excellent measurements or how much measurement error can you deal that the happy mouse is happy. And when is the point of no return? So we speak about refraction, dominance test and tolerance test. Refraction. For a good refraction, and that we will practice tomorrow, you need a refraction protocol. It doesn't matter if it is this protocol, as long you have a protocol at this clinic. Do you? Do you have a refraction protocol?
I try
Some
to do
kind
something.
of-
Who is doing the refraction before laser surgery? Yeah, how many?
Oh, so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, we have more, we around 10 more.
And how can you know that everybody is doing the same? So there is a big challenge, because with breast beyond you have the problem, if you treat, wo ist mein Stift? Where's the black part? If you treat -4, then there should be 0, for example, by the end in the one eye. And if we treat -4 and the goal is there -5, then there should be -5. If you have an error from -0.25, for example, the room light conditions, or the last refinement. Sometimes you give more minus than there's a need. For example, from -20.5, -25. Then you have a result, if you are not happy, from this to minus this. What's the problem with this prescription 3 months after treatment? For example. There's a difference from 2 dioptrin. The contrast vision degrees, the visual acuity degrees, the binocular vision degrees, and the spherical aberrations, the depth of focus degrees too. So the patient wouldn't be very happy. With SMILE,
Not in every time.
in this case here, it is, believe me. If we have had an enhancement, we had an enhancement like this. Why it isn't a problem with SMILE? With SMILE, you treat only a monovision up to -1. Yeah, so the goal would be something like this. And if you would a healing like this, for example, there's a difference from -1.5. The tolerance is higher. So the chance to have an enhancement there is lower.
Contrast.
So with Breast Beyond you have to be very careful with all the measurements, because this procedure do not tolerate any measurement error. Because there's one thing what you can't calculate, and that's the healing of a patient. So you need a protocol, a standard protocol for everything with Breast Beyond. And if you do not have it, then make sure only 1 or 2 are doing the refraction at the beginning. As long as you need to be safe with this procedure. It's like when you started with SMILE. Then I'm pretty sure you selected one who did the refraction and one did the surgery, and afterwards it becomes more familiar to you and more optometrists use it. It's the same here. Start with 1 or 2. And these 2 has to shadow each other, so that they know what they are doing. You know? It's not the point that you now überprüfen, check the other one. It's the point you help the other one. And you help the clinic and the team. Okay? Is it clear? Okay. So you need a protocol, you need well-trained person. On this point we are training today, for example. And you need measuring goggles, but I know you have one. Or more than one at this clinic. Or do you use Phoropter?
No, we have no for
Oh, good thing. That's nice. So then I can go, yeah. This is one point where I will like to speak about objective and subjective refraction. If you have this 3 months control, are you doing subjective refraction too?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, then it's clear. It's standard?
Yes.
Under the
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, then we can go through it. Okay, then it's easy. We can. Oh, do you want to see this? It's a video with a phoropter. Look at this lady. It's for centers who use a phoropter. And it was the first time that I took a video of a patient, really the first time. And an optometrist is examining her. And if you do the refraction as an optometrist, did you see she went back?
Mhm.
And the optometrist didn't recognize it. I would say the optometrist wouldn't recognize it too. Because what are you doing if you are doing the refraction? You look at the screen where the numbers are written. Most of them are doing this. And it comes better. By the end of the examination, she was tired. It's only a few seconds now. And she went back and removed this, and nobody recognized it. And she had -8. Afterwards, I was sitting with the optometrist and calculated the error.
Mhm.
It was before she entered the surgery, the operations theater. This was 1 hour later, but with another prescription. Okay? So, dominance test. The dominance test. It is an easy test. What you have to consider, and that is not the protocol of DAB. It's for you, Sabine. If you look for the dominance test, you have to find the reading eye. Not the dominant eye. Why? My dominant eye is my reading eye. It's called cross fixation. And I did an analysis with my data from Beyond, and 40% of my Beyond people has cross fixation. And at one point I asked myself, what for the hell I'm doing with this and this and this. It shows me only the eye which I start. Because my dominant eye is a reading eye. If you would treat it for far distance, I wouldn't be very happy afterwards. Because then I have to switch the dominant eye for the far distance. Okay? And you have to consider is if you have clear lens exchange too. I'm pretty sure if you have an unhappy patient after clear lens extraction, quite often there is a cross fixation. Because if you ask some surgeons for lens exchange, yeah, we are treating the dominant eye for far distance. Yeah, how funny. Are you sure that it is a far distance there? So I say find the reading eye, that's easy, and then use more than one test. If you use the dominant tests for you, for what kind ever, use more than one, because sometimes the people use the dominant hand. You know? And then you have an error. And it's easy because everybody knows it, it's the same like monovision. And everybody of you is doing monovision.